Health Minister Dr Aaron Motsoaledi says the cause of death of the 6 children in Naledi, Soweto is a result of a chemical called organophosphate. Now, organophosphates are chemicals that feature in agricultural products such as herbicides, pesticides and insecticides. This relates to the incident in Naledi where 6 children died after consuming snacks from a spaza shop. The incident has resulted in public outrage, with local communities accusing foreign-owned spaza shops in townships of selling expired and unsafe food products. But to gain a better understanding of the situation, we are joined by the Deputy Director of Environmental Health at the Department of Health, Belinda Makhafola. Thank you so much for joining us, and it's good to have you with us on the program.
Thanks for having me, Leah.
So while we understand from the press briefing yesterday and the update that's been given, there is currently no link between a specific spaza shop and the organophosphate that killed the 6 children. Are you able to track the supplier and charge them for illegally selling a banned substance?
Well, currently the investigation is still ongoing. I think you would have heard the minister in the briefing yesterday indicate that an empty packet of chips was found in a pocket of one of the children. And subsequently that packet was sent for analysis, and it was found to be negative of the organophosphates that were found during the post-mortems. And previously to that also, the City of Joburg environmental practitioners also took samples of chips that were found in the spaza shop in Naledi, where allegedly the children bought, the chips, and the analysis also came back negative to organophosphates that were found in the bodies. So currently we cannot directly link the chemical that was found in the bodies of the children with the spaza shops.
Okay.
However, maybe it's also important to mention that a team of inspectors were sent out to around 84 tuck shops in Naledi to conduct what we call swaps. So they swap surfaces, they swap floors, also on the top of products, with the aim of collecting evidence as to whether, these organophosphates are used, within the spaza shops to control rodents and insects in these shops. Yes.
And what were the results? Did you find that this, in fact, was in these spaza shops?
We are still currently awaiting the analysis from the National Health Laboratory Services. We were told that the result will start trickling in this week. So once those, analysis comes, then we will be able to, after interpreting the result, indicate whether there was indeed, traces of organophosphates in the spaza shops.
It's taking quite a long time. I mean, I imagine that you can agree with me that, in order to test this, this should have been done a while ago. I mean, when you speak to experts, they can say that these results can come out within 3 days, if that, if you go into these spaza shops and very quickly check and see. I mean, things may have been tampered with, they may have been changed. I mean, if that is the case, are you convinced that in fact that you will be able to get these results, because it's quite a delay?
Yeah, we are convinced, Leanne, that we will be getting the results, because we are now closely working with the National Institute for Communicable Diseases that were quite instrumental in helping us trace, the listeriosis, outbreak and the source thereof. So we're hoping that with their expertise, we'll be able to get to the bottom of this. Maybe also to mention that, usually when there is a food poisoning case, what will happen is that the health inspectors will go out to investigate, and when investigating, they collect evidence of the food history, what the person could have eaten at what time, and so forth. And then the inspectors will then collect the samples of the foodstuffs. So, once we get the analysis of the foodstuffs and to confirm that positively it is not what has caused, the illness or in this case, the deaths, then we'll have to, extend the investigation to other things, as we've done with the surface swabs and the floors, and trying to collect, whether there is evidence of this, organophosphates. Indeed, it does, sometimes take, longer. It also depends on our, laboratory capacity, what they're able to do, the type of analysis that they conduct, and, that, basically indicates, how quick or how, fast the results can be made available.
A quick question. I'm sorry for interrupting you. We've got such little time. In terms of, surely this is not the first time that health inspectors have gone into these spaza shops and tested for these substances, because this seems to be a problem and it seems to be a common practice that it is used. So have you, in past, found that this is present in the spaza shops?
No, we cannot conclusively say that we found this. What we found is the indication of red droppings to indicate that there is a red problem, but we haven't found any evidence as yet, and we are hoping, this operation that we've just done will give us an indication as to whether our suspicions are correct.
Yeah, okay, so there's no evidence at this point that it has been found before in other spaza shops, but is it a common practice? Because, when you speak to a lot of people that do live in the townships and do use these things, that this is a common practice, that people use this. It almost looks like a black pepper, and it can be mistaken for that, this kind of substance. And unfortunately, it is fatal. If a human consumes this, it is fatal. So you have found it in their bodies. Where would they have purchased this from? If we're saying that it's never been found in spaza shops, where do they get it from, the residents in the area?
Yeah, that is a good question. And I think maybe to mention that with the operations, as people are interviewed as to whether, do you have a red problem? Yes. What do you use to control the red problem? And they, been able to indicate that, no, we buy this in the informal vendors, in the taxi ranks. And when following up those leads, it led to bigger, wholesalers, that were really found to be selling this stuff. So I think it's also important to mention, as you said, Leanne, that this product or these chemicals are, not only used, in the spaza shops as we suspect, but, the households around the areas as well. We found community members that have, admitted to say, no, we do use this poison. And the reason why we go for this one, even though we know it's illegal, is because it's effective. The ones that we are buying legally from the, the shelves are not doing the work. So that is what we've seen, that, households also, are using these pesticides.
Yeah, which is a big problem, because that's where obviously there's a major issue if anyone consumes it. So many of these have been deemed illegal, except for, I think it's turbophos. Is that correct? That's the only one at this point that isn't illegal. So the one that was found in the children's body, this is illegal, and it should never ever even be in circulation. Am I correct in saying that?
No, turbophos, it's a registered substance.
So it's registered.
However,
okay.
Yes, it's a registered substance under the Fertilizers, Farm Feeds, Agricultural Remedies Act of the Department of Agriculture. So it is a registered substance that is used or is registered for use in agricultural settings. So for controlling crop.
I think that's the one that people are calling for to be made banned, because that is as dangerous, unfortunately. But we can't get into that too much. But I want to ask you, because the idea is we need to find the source of this. The fact that these are circulating, there is a massive rodent problem. We know this. It appears to be out of hand. And as you say, you are seeing this wherever you are going, whether it be in the shops, in the residences, on the streets, everywhere. Now, regarding the 4 people who were arrested for possessing this illegal pesticide and other unregistered products, are they cooperating with the authorities to track down the source of these illegal and restricted chemicals?
Well, currently, we've heard from reports from the SAPS that, some of them were released on bail, on admission of guilt,
Yeah.
for selling the pesticides. However, investigations are still underway as to where is their main supplier. They seem like main suppliers in the Naledi area, but they are definitely getting their supplies from a much bigger, fish, if I may use that word. So that is definitely ongoing. We expecting that the police will be able to assist us in ensuring that in collecting evidence and in interviewing these suspects, they are able to indicate where they get their supplies from.
Yeah. All right. We unfortunately have to leave it there, and I do hope that we will get an update on this. I suppose, is there a timeline, very quickly, Belinda, is there a timeline from police that they've given you that they'll be able to give the results of what they found present in these spaza shops that were tested?
Well, that operation was done by DOH. As I said, the National Health Laboratory Services indicated that from this week. So we're expecting to get results as soon as this week.
Okay, good. We wait on those. Belinda Makhafola, the Deputy Director of Environmental Health at the Health Department, speaking to us about this chemical called organophosphate that's said to be behind the death of the 6 children in Naledi, Soweto.